Now I'm going to straight up congratulate Robert for completing what is called the Great Loop in a small John boat, 6 hours faster than the previous record. This is an amazing accomplishment. Now, first and foremost, the Great Loop is basically just, you know, taking whatever boat and going a big loop around the eastern United States. So you're going up the Atlantic coast, you're going through the Great Lakes, you're going down the Mississippi and through the Gulf of Mexico. This is a 6,000-mile loop. This is an incredible amount of mileage to go in a small boat. This guy's name is Robert. I can't remember his last name. I first encountered him, I don't know how long ago, but I found out about this, and then I posted on the Weldbilt Outlaws Facebook page, and he actually replied to my post about him doing this, and this is really really cool. And he did this in a Weldbilt boat, a small one. I don't know how big it is. It looks like it's a 15 footer, 14, 15, 16 footer. Has a bunch of gas tanks in it to allow him to actually do this. And I mean, it's a tiny boat. If you guys have followed my channel for a long time, I had a Weldbilt boat about 2 or 3 boats ago, and it was one of my favorite boats that I've owned. Mine was a jet boat. This one is just a typical John boat. It has some modification to it, and it has, I think, a 60 horsepower Tohatsu on the back of it. And during this 6,000-mile trip, he did run into a couple of issues. Um, he needed a welder. I don't know why he needed a welder, but at one point he was looking for a welder and he found a welder. And he also found people that actually helped him fix whatever was wrong with his boat. It's also my understanding that Tohatsu themselves came out to do oil changes on that outboard, allowing him to do this loop. And he did the entire loop with that Tohatsu outboard. And it was pretty much tonight. I mean, it's midnight right now, and I just saw that he finally finished the loop tonight. So I figured I'd do a video about it, at least talk about it. This is something that you may not see on the national news, but this is a really cool thing that I've been following for a while. And he made it. He made it through the loop. He had a lot of people helping him at some point. Different times. He actually had other boats ahead of him helping him navigate this tiny boat through areas on the ocean. You don't. I know that the last time I went to the ocean, I took my boat with me, and I wouldn't even go out the inlet because the waves were just too much. It was a flat bottom 20-foot boat, and I could just imagine taking a semi flat bottom. Now the well builts aren't exactly flat. They got I think a 3-degree hull on them. I don't know if his does or not. I know mine did. And it was a tunnel hull that wasn't completely flat. I think that's why it felt more stable than a bigger 18-foot jet boat that I had after it. And one of the reasons why I liked that boat. Still, even like that, going out on the open ocean with such a small boat is kind of a scary thing. And he had to go up most of you know, the Atlantic or whatever, the East Coast. Let me show the picture again. I know I showed it earlier or whatever. It's the one that's on the screen right here, just to show you this is kind of what the route is. It's not exact, but that's about what he took. And there is also, you can do different routes as well. I think you can continue on the Mississippi if you like. It looks like here that he may have actually skipped the Mississippi. I don't know in his case. Like I said, I've been following it. I don't have exact details, but I would look it up. Look up the Great Loop. Look up Robert breaking, the Guinness's, record for going around it. And I mean, I'll look here. No, I closed my Facebook because it was on Facebook, and there is the Great Loop, yep, page. And let's see if I can find some quick info here. Maybe, I don't know. He's 71 years old too. So 71-year-old Robert Yowens just did 6,000 miles in a tiny John boat with like a 60 horsepower Tohatsu. I think it was a 60 horse Tohatsu. 16-foot tiller driven John boat and did the loop. So, I mean, that's really, really cool. But yeah, I guess, I mean, if you're interested in it, look it up and get some more information. But it's kind of cool. He had tons of help, and it's a really interesting story. And his dream has now come true, and it's a really great thing. So, this is a really really short vlog and podcast for me at least. But I just wanted to let you guys know about it. Something cool, something positive that has actually just happened, and it makes me want to get a Weldbilt again someday. I do miss having like a jet boat, and if I could afford to get me just like a small Weldbilt hull, I might try to do a tiny boat, you know, jet build someday here on YouTube on this channel. But right now, I can't do that. But it is something I've had in my head and that I might do sometime in the future. I'd love to do that, make a little jet boat and have my big boat for guiding and then the little jet boat for fun. And I don't think his has a tunnel hull on it. I don't think so. But yeah. But there's a Facebook page too called The Great Loop. And that's where a lot of this information is on. So a video. There's tons of videos of people showing him like driving by or people, coming up to him and talking to him while he was locking through. I mean, you got to imagine how many locks he went through. He must have went through 100 different locks to go from, you know, through that entire loop. So it's pretty interesting. But anyway, uh, I thought it was interesting. I hope you guys think it's interesting. Leave a comment below if you know more, or if I'm wrong with any of my information, or if you think this is simply cool. And be sure to hit that thumbs up because this is probably going to be a shorter video. But as always, I want to thank you for taking your time out of your day to actually watch this video. I really, really appreciate it. And man, this really does have me thinking about getting a Weldbilt again. I might have to call Alan with Green Marine and see what kind of hulls he's got left over sitting in his yard. Because that's where I got my Weldbilt, was from a local. He's 2 hours away from me in Greenville, Tennessee, I think. And and his business was like Green Marine, and he got Weldbilt hulls, and he would build them to whatever way you want it built. And he usually has a hull or two just sitting there. So anyway, uh, before I end up spending all the money that I need to be saving for this winter, I'm going to thank you again for watching this video, and I do hope to see you next time.